Gosh, that's like $1 million question. How was Silverfox Events born? Let's go back to the early 90s. I think we started around about 1991, 92 with a company called Payal. Payal was an events organizer. It was called Payal Function Organizers. My mum invented this Asian events company and wanted to be the first Asian wedding planner in the UK. So she looked at putting these beautiful weddings together and coordinating all the suppliers. What we realized as we went through the first sort of from 1991 over to sort of 2000, in 1999-ish, we did an amazing marquee event in somebody's back garden. So we went through town halls, we went through school halls, we ended up going into hotels, 92, 93, 94. We started tipping into some sort of statelys and marquee events, but 1999, 98, we realized at that point, when we'd pushed our boundaries out, that we'd done this magnificent event at the end of the 90s in a marquee in somebody's back garden. Now let me just explain this. So you're walking into this marquee with slightly raised levels. We've got pea lights in the ceiling. We've got beautiful lighting, amazing flowers. So the ambience in that room, the decor and the design was absolutely gobsmacking. People could not believe what it looked like visually. And it was just a superb environment to have dinner in. Then we also realized with the food and service and beverage, which is probably the most important factor on any event really, because if you don't nail the food and service, you're totally dead. It doesn't matter whether you spent $1 million on the decor. People were walking in, so we made sure we had cloakroom assistants. We made sure that the champagne that was being served was cold. Like these things were really important to our Asian wedding market at that point. We'd realized that they wanted more Western influences. So as you walk into our drinks reception, we had a beautiful champagne reception, cold champagne, hot canapes going around. We actually employed Western general managers from big hotel groups to make sure that we knew how to implement this and how to basically operate the event correctly. So we realized people just didn't want events to look fantastic. They needed to be operated correctly. So we gained all the knowledge that we could from one side of like having a wedding at Bali and Paris and how would that be served there for the Duke maybe, and also looking at design and plan and looking at America and Preston Bailey and what did his weddings look like at that point, and combine the two. And this was the beauty of our events. This was the beauty of what we put together in our events. Visually what you look at, and operationally it runs to clockwork. By the late 90s, we realized that we've got a real niche market here. We're not only now designing and decorating beautiful events, we've also operated them correctly with beautiful catering. Where we struggled and where we moved into was really catering, because yes, we could design these beautiful marquees and make them look absolutely stunning, or stately homes, or hotel rooms. But the actual food and beverage and service was always lacking. So Payal at that point decided to open up a catering company as well as having an event arm. So we opened up Payal Catering and Events around the early 2000s. We had some amazing chefs. We put a multicultural kitchen together. What was also really important is that as we were going through these events, if we were doing a Bengali event or a Sikh event or a Muslim event or a Hindu Punjabi event or a Gujarati event, the caterers were always different. And it was very difficult to coordinate these caterers and say, we want pre-plated starters. They're like, what? Pre-plated what? And I said, this is what we want to do. But so they didn't get it. So we thought, we're going to build Payal Catering as a multicultural kitchen. We're going to cater for all brown people. We're going to make sure that we do what we want to do and we can operate it correctly. Whether we're doing a Gujarati starter or whether we're doing a Bengali beautiful fish and rice, it will be plated correctly and delivered to our specification. Hence, we went into catering. So we started catering around the early 2000s, and we ended up sort of finishing around 10 or 12 years later on. So Payal became a catering and an event management company. So your initial question, where was Silverfox born? Well, it wasn't my hairdo. So let's go back a bit further. So we started in the early 90s. We realized that we had to work on design and operations for events. We went to 2000 to 2010, 12-ish, started doing event management, design and catering. And then as we tippled over into sort of 2012, 2013, where my mum then sort of took over the catering business, me and Sheetal realized that we needed to concentrate more on the event management side and event design side. We wanted to go back to what we loved. We loved food, it was a great journey, we loved plating this beautiful product, but there was a lot out there now. There was a lot of other Indian caterers and a lot of other Pakistani caterers that were doing equally what we were doing and doing a great job. So we can then do event management and not only use Payal to do food, but we could move out with other caterers, and why not bring some Western caterers in and do some fusion influences. So we thought about this carefully, and I think realistically, when the Big Fat Asian Wedding came out in 2014-15, we then split away. So Payal Catering went one way with my mother, and me and Sheetal went the other way with Silverfox Events, and that's when it was born. So as we'd split away from Payal Catering at the time and Silverfox Events was finally born, what we realised at that point was that we wanted to now take the event management and the event design to a totally new level. Like we did in the late 90s when we had that fantastic marquee with decor, design and beautiful operational skills for our food and beverage. We now looked at Silverfox Events in 2014-15 and said, what now do we need to do to move these events forward? Now don't forget, everything has been evolved even more and more now. Now it's gone from plated food to maybe like koshes with dry ice. It's now gone from amazing flower arrangements to like ceiling covers. Lighting's moved on tremendously. We now have amazing lights and laser shows and all these beautiful things. So every area and every supplier that we are now working with has evolved in business too. So how do we tie the top 10 suppliers up with the top new ideas and put it into an event? We had to think very, very carefully about our positioning and where we wanted Silverfox to go. Now here's the magic. The magic is the experiences that we've already had for the last 20 years. We learned a lot in 20 years about design, plan and visual and operations. So as we went into the Silverfox year, we realized at this point that we needed to make a difference. We got our first client. Funnily enough, at that point, we ended up doing destination. We ended up going to Ibiza for 24 hours for an engagement party. We ended up going down to Tuscany for another family that you'll know, and we did a couple of weddings in Tuscany. So this was a whole new experience for us. So although we weren't sat in a marquee trying to design and do something completely different, we ended up taking our product abroad. We ended up then going into Dubai, we ended up going to Goa, we ended up going to Capri, and the list is endless. So we did destination event management from about 2015 right up to COVID, really. In and amongst that, we had some amazing productions in the UK also. When we did these productions in the UK, and we wanted to make them different, we wanted to make sure that we made masterpieces going forward and bespoke events. We listened to the bride and groom. We had an amazing client in 2016. So here's a perfect example of a client brief. She's a Hare Krishna, no onion, no garlic, vegetarian food, no alcohol, 9 events, 1 week, not a joke. Finale, she wants to do a Krishna dance. I said, right? I would like to do a full-on show about Krishna and a couple of beautiful pieces about his life and how he evolved. And I want to show that to my crowd. We have 500 people in a marquee, a stage to die for, and she wants us to put on a beautiful Krishna dance. So we go to the best person in the industry, Karan K. Sparks. We say, Karan, we know you do these beautiful Bollywood productions. We know you're one of the best around the world doing this, but could you put together a beautiful Krishna dance explaining his story and the general public in the room would understand what's happening? So we pushed that supplier like Karan Sparks out of his comfort zone. We know he has the skills and the capability of doing an amazing dance, but can he implement that with some old school Kathak? Can he implement that with some old school dance to share this story that my client wanted? Yes, of course he could, but he's never been asked before. But yes, he did, and he pulled it off. We had 30 artists on the dance floor. We had a stage production to die for which looked like a Mumbai Bollywood show, and he pulled that beautiful dance off for our client. And that's what Silverfox Events does. What we try to do is listen to the demands of our clients, and most of our clients, to be honest, were all referral. So over the last 20 years, we've dealt with families all the way through this. So it'll be friends of friends, it'll be family friends of cousins and uncles, it'll be a cousin of a cousin or a brother or a sister. So we developed a very good understanding with the family already. We had very strong referrals in the UK. So it was quite easy for these guys, the new clients that came through, to trust us. So if we're saying we want to do this with Casebox, we're going to have 30 people and we're going to put production together looking like a whole Bollywood show in Mumbai, the client trusted us to deliver upon that. Why? Because they've seen us deliver it before. They have client referrals. And this was a massive thing for us. So we could then experiment with their ideas, push them forward and say to them, this is what we're going to do for you. Are you all right with this? And they're like, Raj, if you think it's going to work, let's do it. So yes, we got some pushbacks. Of course, people have got their own opinions. The strong entrepreneurs obviously think they know everything. So they're the ones who are like, no, we're going to do it like this, we're going to do it like that. And eventually they'll come round to what we're saying they're going to do. But we learned at that point that Silverfox Events was a whole new category. We also understood that pushing suppliers was very interesting. So it's better to go and get the best supplier in that particular industry, like video mapping, and saying, right, what have you done in the past? They go, we've done this, 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 and this, and this. That's really beautiful. We've got a 50th birthday party in Paris at the Opera Garnier. We want to build the story and the life of our client. Can you do that on a wall? Have you done it before? No. Would you try and do it for us? Would you look at experimenting with your technology, our story, and build a scene or a picture or a video map that we could put on a building that shares his story? Why not? Let's have a look. So we pushed suppliers. We gave them ideas. What's really interesting is everyone lists like, oh, we've done this event, and this was the florist, this was the designer, this was the makeup artist, this was the cocktail guy, this was the sound engineer. And you know what? It takes all those people to put that event together. But what Silverfox has done is gone into each one of those suppliers who are the best in the industry. We've asked them to go out of their comfort zone. It's not us. We can't do lighting, but we can push a lighting company to do what we want them to do, or come out of the box. What haven't you done? What would you have liked to have done on an event that you never had the budget for? Those sort of questions is what Silverfox does. It's listening to the brief, it's elaborating on that brief and making things happen that don't exist and pushing suppliers to do it. Because we have the confidence to coordinate it, operate it, and deliver that product. We're now 3 decades in. We've done the 90s to the 2000s. We've done 2000 to 2010. We've moved on from 2010 and moved into 2020. Now, what does make Silverfox Events special? There is a really beautiful thing about this whole education of 3 decades. We've just learned a lot as we've gone along. The client briefs that we get now, we elaborate on those briefs. We now know that if we push our suppliers, we can actually deliver upon events that don't exist. So we have individual events going forward. We have bespoke events going forward. We have different designs. We have different lighting productions. We have different dance and entertainment productions. We think of every single thing on an event right now of how we can make our event bespoke and different. I think one of the most important things about Silverfox Events is the wealth of knowledge that we have and the beautiful suppliers that we built up over the years. We really understand a client brief. And when they give us an idea or a thought pattern or something that is very, very important to a bride and groom, something that the bride really wanted to do, we will take that idea and explore it and expand upon it and turn it into something totally different. We can only do that because we have the knowledge and the wealth and the experience to take that idea and do something different with it. I think the most important point about this whole experience that we've had is going through 30 years of experiences with design, with lighting, with entertainment, with operations, with food. And now it's all about the guest experience. Everything's about the guest experience. What do our clients want us? They don't want their ideas to go forward. What they're looking for now is how do we entertain their 300, 400, 500 guests for 9 hours or 10 hours in an event without them getting bored? Because events are now boring. We need to look at the guest experience. It's probably one of the most and key ingredients right now in every event. How do you make your guests of 500 guests in the Natural History Museum or in Bali and Paris or in any venue across the world entertained throughout your event? What are they looking at? What are they hearing? And you know what, now we're thinking about smell. What are they smelling? Like if we're building a beautiful ambient area from another place in the world, what does it sound like in that area? What does it smell like? What are you visually going to look at? So we're really, really working on the senses right now and making people's journeys through our events like experience from scene to scene. What does the drinks reception look like? What does the dining experience feel like? What does the after party feel like? And the club and the band and the entertainment? How's the cake cutting done? Are we all in tune with speeches? How do we make speeches more interesting? Right? It's down to the speaker. A lot of them are rubbish. But how do we make their speeches more fun? What do we put up visually? So there's so many things we have to think about. But I think one of the key things going forward now from basically 2020 over to 2030 is guest experiences. You need to make your events more entertaining for your guests. I mean, you look at Silverfox Events and you look at the client base that we now have. You know, we get asked these questions. Who uses Silverfox Events? Who is it actually for? Yes, we've done celebrities, we've done entrepreneurs, we've just done amazing people with great imagination around the world. I think the most important thing about a Silverfox client or someone who's looking at using Silverfox Events is someone quite imaginative, who's someone who's been to loads of events and found them quite boring or not innovative enough or not moving forward. If you want your event to be done differently and you individually are willing to come out of the box and talk to us about your event, then you're the type of person we want to talk to. We want people with imagination. We want people to think out of the box. We want people to come out of the box with us and take this journey with us. We can't have Silverfox clients that want to stay in a box because it's been done and it's beautiful what they're doing right now in these Asian events. Our Asian events have moved forward tremendously and people that are staying in the boxes are delivering on beautiful events. But if you want to come out of that box, if you want us to think about your ideas, if you have really got some fantastic different feelings about your event and you want it to be unique or you want it to be bespoke to you, or you've thought about an idea but you can't find anyone to do it, you're the type of person that needs to speak to Silverfox Events. What we've learned over the last 30 years, we can do anything, and we have done. We've done corporate things like product launches, we've done beautiful bar mitzvahs, we've done amazing weddings, beautiful English weddings for top entrepreneurs in the country. We've done overseas and destination planning. We've worked in Dubai and in India, so we've learned how to travel and new suppliers from all over the world. So if you look at Silverfox Events as a product, it's something that is bundled up and for whatever occasion. I think the key ingredient here is if you want someone to think differently and take your event a little bit out of the box and something to do something a little bit different and bespoke, I think that's where Silverfox fits in. So, 30 years on, Silverfox Events, what are we here to offer? I've said this before and I'm not going to go over it again, but it's really important that the clients that we get through the door now have the whole experience. We are offering a guest experience for our clients, but we want to offer a client experience to die for from Silverfox Events. As you come to us, we want your experience of planning your wedding and executing it correctly, the safest train possible, with the maddest ideas possible, which are all within reason. So I think we're giving you a client experience through Silverfox Events to enhance your guest experience through Silverfox Events. So what's exciting about the future of Silverfox Events? I think is tech, I think is ideas, I think it's sharing information. You now can look at a beautiful wedding in Nairobi. You now can look at an amazing wedding reception in Fiji. Just like that. You can see anything across the world now. Ideas are flying everywhere. I think we have a massive bank of so many different things now. Lightings and florals and tables and chairs and cutlery and crockery and guest experiences. It's so nice that we can share our ideas, and we can also hear other ideas from across the world from other planners. Now, the intelligent planners of the world will be feeding into this and pulling back information into their countries and seeing what they can offer their guests. The knowledge and information out there on events across the world now is absolutely insane. And what we're trying to do is handpick ideas from all over the world now and putting them together. So when we get a client now and that person wants to have their event a little bit more different, we can show them so many more things that are going on, so many more ideas, and technology is playing a massive part in that also. Because some of the ideas that we had back in the day, like droning and video mapping, was so expensive, things like holograms. And now they're much more cost effective to do, but then there's newer and better ideas also. So what's exciting about Silverfox Events? I think we're innovative, we're cutting edge, we're researching the world, we know what's out there. Silverfox Events has a wealth of 30 years of experience in design, in plan, operations, catering. Every aspect that you have in an event, we've had the experience of it. We've had 30 years of experience in individual sectors. We're now putting all those ideas together. That's easy. Where do we go next? We're now putting innovative, world-class ideas into our events. So now we have an event ball, which is absolutely solid, but we're also adding in aspects of world-class suppliers. Your event will be very special, very different, and bespoke to you. Silverfox is for an individual that has no margin for error, who wants innovative, world-cutting ideas, who wants their event to be the best of the best, who wants to be talked about. They want their ideas to be shouted about across the world. They need their event to stand out. Yes, they're willing to take certain risks, but it's better to take it with a company that will deliver. So they want beautiful, elaborate events with fantastic ideas and all sorts of things going on, but they want no margin for error. Silverfox Events, as we work in the luxury market, is for individuals like high net worth entrepreneurs and celebrities and people who want amazing events but have zero margin for error. I really think the most exciting thing about our industry and what we do as individuals is doing the event. We get a brief from our client, and it could be anywhere around the world. We pull off this most spectacular event, and then getting that hug or that handshake at the end of that event and saying, you know what, Raj, you totally smashed that. That is euphoric. It's the best feeling in the world, and that is the drug. That's why we push ourselves, work for 18 months on projects around the world just to get that hug at the end of the day. It's a euphoric feeling, it's a drug. And that's why we do Silverfox Events. Silverfox Events, it's really important that the individual also sits down with us and we have a chat together. Can we work together for the next 18 months? Do we have a relationship together? Do we have the same synergies? Are we willing to compromise on certain things? Eye lighting or an idea that's totally out of the box. It's very important that the relationship between client and Silverfox Events is amicable and we have a great relationship. That means we'll have a great event. There are times that we've come across and we've sat with clients and their vision and what they want to achieve is not possible for what we would like to do and achieve. And therefore it's better to depart company and not do that particular event. I think it's really important that we have that initial interview. We both sit down together. What do you want to achieve out of this event? This is what we can give you, and does it work? And if it works, fantastic, off we go. We deliver a fantastic event. If you look at Silverfox as a product and the individual, it's the ultimate luxury experience. We're designing an event for you in 12 months or 18 months time. We are only approximately doing 10 events a year. We are solely concentrating on your event. This is where you get your bespoke planning. This is where you get your bespoke design. This is where you get thought patterns out of the box. This is where you get world-class suppliers coming in on our events and making them super special. This is why Silverfox works. Silverfox Events for the individual is an ultimate luxury experience. It's something that's bespoke and made for them. At the end of the day, we only do maybe 10 or 12 events a year. We have 12 or 18 months to plan this event. We bring the most talented, bespoke suppliers from across the world to make your event special. And this is where Silverfox Events differs from any other company in the world. We are unique thinkers and creative planners. We are Silverfox Events. We are unique thinkers and creative planners. We are Silverfox Events. And my famous saying, we smashed it. After I get that hug, that euphoric hug, I always say, we smashed it. We smashed the event. And my famous saying at the end of the event, we smashed it. And that famous saying after all my events, we smashed it. That euphoric hug at the end of the night, what did we do? Totally smashed it. I mean, we produce detailed, innovative and uniquely designed events. We are Silverfox Events. We produce detailed, innovative and uniquely designed events. We are Silverfox Events. Indulge in the ultimate luxury experience with Silverfox Events. So experience the height of luxury with our bespoke event planning and design. Experience the height of luxury with our bespoke planning and design services. We are Silverfox Events.